You've watched them all chase the same thing. The dance, the phrase, the aesthetic that swept through like wildfire. And you felt something strange inside. Not excitement, but a quiet heaviness. Like watching everyone run towards something you can't bring yourself to touch. While others lean in, you step back. While they perform, you observe. And somewhere in that distance, you wonder if something is wrong with you, or if you've discovered something everyone else is too distracted to see. There's a girl at school who watches her friends memorize the latest trend, their phones glowing with rehearsed enthusiasm. She smiles when they show her, says it's cool, but when they ask her to join, something tightens in her chest. She makes an excuse. Too tired. Maybe later. They don't push, and she's grateful, but also lonelier than before. She goes home and scrolls through hundreds of people doing the exact same thing, and instead of feeling connected, she feels like she's standing outside a party she was never truly invited to. This isn't about being different for the sake of rebellion. It's deeper than that. The people who never join trends aren't necessarily contrarians or trying to prove a point. They're often protecting something fragile inside themselves, something that got hurt when they tried to belong before and it didn't work. Their nervous system learned early that joining means risking rejection, that enthusiasm can become humiliation, that standing out makes you a target. So they chose invisibility instead, a kind of social camouflage that keeps them safe, but slowly makes them feel like ghosts in their own lives. When you grow up feeling like your natural self wasn't quite right, like your interests were too much or not enough, like your excitement embarrassed the people around you, you learn to edit yourself. You learn that blending in is safer than shining. The brain, trying to protect you from emotional pain, creates a pattern. Don't be too visible. Don't risk being mocked. Don't invest in things everyone else loves, because when it fades, you'll be left holding on to something people laugh at. This becomes your armor, but armor is heavy, and over time it starts to feel like a cage. You see this everywhere once you notice it. The colleague who never participates in office celebrations, not because they're rude, but because their body remembers the birthday party where no one came. The friend who dismisses popular music, not because they genuinely hate it, but because loving something everyone else loves feels like losing yourself. The sibling who mocks trends with sharp humor, using criticism as a shield against the vulnerability of wanting to belong. The cost is quiet but real. You preserve your individuality, but you also preserve your isolation. You protect yourself from embarrassment, but you also deny yourself joy. There's a part of you that wants to dance badly in public, to love something unashamedly, to be silly and visible and wrong and still okay. But that part got buried under layers of self-consciousness, under the weight of all the times you were made to feel like you were too much or not enough. You can recognize this in others by watching what they do when everyone else is excited. Do they grow quieter? Do they watch from the edges with a slight smile that doesn't reach their eyes? Do they intellectualize what others are enjoying, analyzing it to death rather than feeling it? Do they always have a reason why they can't participate? Reasons that sound logical but feel like locks on a door they're afraid to open. And if you're honest, you might recognize it in yourself. Not in every moment, but in the pattern. The instinct to hold back when others lean forward. The automatic skepticism that rises in your chest when something becomes popular. The relief you feel when a trend passes and you didn't have to decide whether to join. The loneliness that comes after when you realize you're outside again, watching life happen through glass. Ask yourself this: when was the last time you let yourself love something without questioning whether it made you look foolish? Can you remember a moment when you were young and unself-conscious, before you learned to protect yourself this way? What are you really afraid will happen if you join in, if you let yourself be visible and enthusiastic and maybe even a little bit wrong? Who taught you that belonging was dangerous? And are they still right about that now? What would it feel like to participate in something purely for the joy of it, knowing you might look silly and choosing to do it anyway? When you watch others connect over something you've dismissed, what do you really feel beneath the judgment? Is it truly disdain, or is it longing wearing a disguise? You don't have to force yourself into things that don't resonate. That's not healing, that's performance. But you can start noticing when your refusal comes from genuine disinterest or from fear. You can practice small moments of visibility, low-stakes situations where you let yourself be enthusiastic about something, even if it's popular. You can challenge the voice that says caring about things everyone else cares about makes you basic or boring or lost. You can be kind to the part of you that learned to stay small, thanking it for trying to protect you while gently showing it that you're safe enough now to be seen. And when you see someone else standing at the edges, don't pull them in forcefully, just make space for them. Let them know that belonging doesn't require performing, that they can participate in their own way, that being visible doesn't mean being perfect. Sometimes the kindest thing you can do for someone who never joins trends is to show them that connection doesn't have to mean conformity, that they can be themselves and still be included. You were never broken for standing apart. You were just trying to survive in a world that sometimes made you feel like you had to choose between being yourself and being loved, but that was never a real choice. The truth is gentler than that. You can be both. You can belong and still be you. And maybe the first trend worth joining is the one where we decide that being human, messy, and visible and imperfect is enough.